The church's massive, groaning doors creaked open, revealing a cold, desolate interior. The weathered pews and solemn pulpit bore witness to a time long forgotten, their silent testimony echoing through the forsaken building. The once vibrant stained glass windows were now a mere shadow of their former glory, their colors muted by years of neglect. A chilling sense of reverence permeated the air, a stark reminder of the fervent faith that once held this place together. Despite its dilapidation, the church exuded an eerie tranquility, as though it had found peace in its own decay. The silence was deafening, punctuated only by the sporadic drip of water from the leaky roof, a stark contrast to the lifeless village outside. As I navigated the ancient pews, a sense of dread washed over me. This wasn't just a decaying building, it was a monument to a forgotten era, a symbol of faith and community that had endured countless storms, both literal and metaphorical. Suddenly, a rustling sound echoed through the church, jerking me out of my melancholic thoughts. A figure emerged from the shadows, a demon draped in mystery and cloaked in fear. My heart pounded in my chest, the ominous presence invoking a mixture of terror and intrigue. I was caught in its chilling gaze, held captive by the unknown. A realization hit me. This was no ordinary demon. It was watching me, studying me. Yet its identity remained hidden, building a wall of fearful expectation between us. As the figure pulled back its hood, I was met with a face I never expected to see. It was a ghost from my past, an old friend, his eyes mirroring my fear and curiosity. My heart pounded harder, a mix of surprise, relief, and suspicion swirling within me. "John," I called out, my voice echoing against the decaying walls. His name tasted foreign, a relic from the past. His expression softened, and he stepped into the dim light. "I know you're confused," he began, his voice barely audible. "I'm here to help you. We're being watched, not by humans, but by entities beyond our understanding. We're in Seol, the kingdom of spirits." The mystery deepened, pulling me further into the heart of Seol. I was no longer alone, but the journey had just begun. The chilling tale of the abandoned church and its spectral inhabitants was far from over. As the echoes of John's name faded into the silence, he took a deep breath and began to speak. His voice, once comforting, now echoed eerily in the hallowed silence. "This church," he started, "isn't just abandoned. It's a gateway to another realm, a realm of spirits. Seol isn't a kingdom, it's a dimension parallel to ours, home to entities not of this world." His words hung heavy in the air, their absurdity echoing off the ancient walls. I stared at him in disbelief, my mind struggling to accept his claims. But the fear in his eyes was genuine, and the church's eerie atmosphere lent credibility to his outrageous tale. "The spirits," he continued, "are not evil, but lost. They need our help to find peace, to move on from this limbo, but we must tread carefully. Their world isn't meant for the living. We are intruders there." His plea echoed in the vast space, his words a chilling testament to the gravity of our situation. I was left with a choice: to believe the unbelievable, or to abandon a friend in need. The silence of the church pressed in on me, the spectral inhabitants waiting for my decision. The tale of the abandoned church was far from over, and I found myself at its epicenter. I stood there, my mind racing as I weighed my options. The silence was deafening, each tick of the ancient clock echoing in the vast church, mirroring the ticking in my brain. The logical part of me screamed to dismiss John's tale as a fantasy, to turn around and leave this place. But something else, something deep within me, urged me to stay, to believe in the unbelievable. I looked at John, his eyes pleading, filled with fear and desperation. He was my friend, my brother in arms, and he needed me. My heart pounded in my chest, the rhythm matching the ticking of the clock. With each beat, I found myself leaning towards the absurd. I could feel the weight of the spirits' gaze on me, their ethereal presence filling the church, their silent pleas resonating in the air. I took a deep breath, my decision made. "I'm in," I said, my voice firm, echoing through the church. I saw a flicker of relief cross John's face, but it was quickly replaced by a solemn expression. "We don't know what we're going to face," he warned, his voice barely a whisper, but I was resolute. I was ready to face the unknown, to help these spirits find their peace, to help my friend. With a deep breath, I stepped into the unknown, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The tale of the abandoned church was about to unfold, and I was at the heart of it all. And so, our hopeless journey commenced. We spent countless hours bracing ourselves for the inevitable doom that was to come, clutching onto the meager tools we possessed, ropes, flashlights, and a battered compass. They seemed pitifully insufficient, yet they were all we had left. The atmosphere was laden with an oppressive sense of foreboding, the once comforting ticking of the clock, now supplanted by the suffocating rhythm of our pounding hearts. John's eyes held nothing but despair, the terror replaced with a tragic determination. The enormity of our insurmountable task was reflected in his hollow gaze. The church towered menacingly over us, its spires casting long, ominous shadows that seemed to swallow the last vestiges of our dwindling hope. The air was oppressively heavy, the silence screaming louder than any sound could. The invisible eyes of the lingering spirits seemed to watch our descent into despair, their ethereal gaze scrutinizing our every move. Each haunting echo of our footsteps within the cavernous church served as a grim reminder of the futile journey we had resigned ourselves to. The door to our impending doom groaned open, a gust of wind sweeping through the church as if to extinguish the last remnants of our courage. Our flashlights painted the stone walls with grotesque shadows, a twisted ballet of our fear and sadness. Sharing a final glance, a silent resignation passed between us. With a heavy sigh, we stepped into the abyss, our hearts heavy with dread. As the door sealed us within the belly of the monstrous church, I couldn't help but surrender to the bleak truth. We were lost, and there would be no redemption. The journey was relentlessly harsh and saturated with menace. As John and I ventured deeper into the decrepit church, an oppressive sense of doom washed over us. The spirits, invisible yet ominously ubiquitous, scrutinized our every action, their ghostly murmurs echoing throughout the vast, hollow space. Each trial we faced was grueling than the last, pushing us to the brink of our endurance. But we persevered, driven by a determination that was crippled yet unyielding. We were there to assist, to shepherd these tormented souls to tranquility. But alas, we failed. The church, a monument to ruin and despair, remained unchanged. The spectral residents were left in their haunting presence, growing stronger. The suffocating silence persisted, now tainted with an overwhelming sense of desolation. The saga of the forsaken church continued, its melancholic narrative echoing our defeat, and alongside my friend, had been at the center of this tragic endeavor.